Hi guys, today I'm going to talk about a round knife. Hopefully try and show you how to use it and a couple of things that I use it for. This is my everyday knife, you know. I mean, I've got other knives. I've got my clicker knife, I've got my paring knife, but this is probably the one I pick up most for the work that I do. Certainly in saddlery and a bit of bridle work and stuff. Right, okay, save me waffling on. The first thing you need to know about a round knife. Now I've got these are some cheap ones that I bought. This is mine. I've had this easy 20-25 years I've had this knife. Okay, this is a cheap one. Let's see if I can get it out here. I've got a few of them. And the first thing you notice, just get rid of all this plastic. It's as blunt could be. Right, one of the first things you notice, you see how it's thick here, and then it comes along and then it takes this sharp dip down, because all they do is they sharpen this edge. I can actually feel a big burr on that as well, so it obviously needs sharpened. Most new tools, when you buy them, probably need some form of care before you can use them. That's round punches, screw punches, you name it, you probably have to sharpen it anyway, like, yeah. But as I say, on this one, it's quite clear. It's thick here, and then it comes down for this last bit. If you look at my knife, and I'll try and show you from all sorts of different angles. When I first had this, it was the same thing. It starts here and then it comes down here at the end. But what I did is I honed the whole knife through, so it comes all the way through. And I can almost feel a kind of ridge there, but it's very, very little, like, yeah. As I say, it's all the way through, and it's just, it comes all there. The problem with this is that this ridge here can catch sometimes when you're using it. So I've had this forever and a day, but save me waffling on, I'll show you. So that's the first thing, is start to hone it down, get your knife sharp, get it nicely polished as well. I'll probably polish it more than I sharpen it, because when you're working with leather, which blunts your knife quite a bit, is the grease that goes on there and it sets on there, and that stops your knife sliding. So I tend to go to the buff and wheel, I don't know, 3-4 times a week to buff it up and shine it, and maybe sharpen the edge of it, I don't know, once a week, once every 2 weeks maybe, you know. So I don't really need to sharpen that often, because leather doesn't really blunt your knife. It's more that grease that kind of catches it up a bit. Some people might disagree with me, but that's certainly what I think, yeah. Okay, one of the things about using a round knife is, the first thing is how to hold it. Don't hold it like this, because all it'll do is it'll spin round and it's dangerous. So you have to steady it in some manner. So the way of holding it is, and I'm doing it from the back here, it's like a tennis bat, you know. So bring that finger forward, and you can almost feel it pressing against your palm up into your hand, like, yeah. So that's it there. Now if I do that, it won't move in any manner. I mean, it's absolutely solid because this finger's down here. Yeah, as I said, just take it back off, and you can see it's dangerous, it'll spin. So if I was to try and cut something with this, hopefully I don't cut my fingers off if I do it, then holding it like that, then this is a tendency of what happened on it, yeah. Somebody did tell me once on one of my YouTube videos that my knife was blunt. I think he had some weird contraption that he'd got, and what it did is it sharpened the edge here. It didn't sharpen a lot of, I can assure you, if I just tickle my knife, it should cut through without any stress whatsoever, like, yeah. So get your knife sharp, and then it makes life a lot easier for you. Okay, a couple of things you can use it for. You can use it for cutting straight lines, you can use it for cutting shapes. There's a little bit of soft leather. I don't really use it for cutting soft leather. I tend to use, for some reason, I use my clicker for it. So again, back onto it, I've seen people use it like this, and yes, it'll cut, but it is dangerous. And you can see how sharp my knife is here. So get that finger steady. You can do this sliding movement all the way along, and you can see it just razors all the way through here. So you can get it and then slide the whole knife. That's fine for this sort of stuff. If you try to do that on I'll do it on a little piece here. If you try to do that on a piece here, then your knife tends to drag a bit, yeah. So one of my easiest ways, let me just quickly do a straight line for you on this piece of leather, and I'll cut down the straight line. So if I'll do that much for you. Now, if I was cutting a large shape, it's the same method I would use. So this is my knife. This is not how I would do it. I wouldn't normally get in and slide along here, because I actually feel that's really dragging on my knife, and then my knife has a tendency to wobble off my line, and maybe it's just me, like, yeah. So let's get rid of that, and I'll show you how I actually do it. So I say I don't get it, and then slide along. But note again that this finger's up here steady, and it's really important that you get a good grip in this, and it won't move. You can feel it won't move in your hand. So how I cut lines, put a line back in here again. I get my knife, and yes, I might start off with a slight slide, but then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the leather up at the back, and it's like, let me just take the leather out, it's like a rocking movement. So I dig this into the board, and then I just do this little rocking movement, and I move the leather. Now if I was cutting shapes, circles and things, it would just be the same sort of thing, like here. So in the board it goes, and the knife doesn't really move, it just does a little chopping movement, up and down, all the way along. And now I'm definitely on this line, which I'm going to show you. I'll leave a little bit of line just to show you. So, and you can see by doing this method, I'm bang on the line all the way along here. Yeah. So whatever, you can do the sliding method, but to me the better method is put the knife in the board and then move the leather. And as I say, I'm going to try it with some panel. I don't normally, as I say, normally if I was cutting panel, I would use my clicker knife for it. But if I do this, and and then as I say, it's not going to work for me. So it needs to be solid for my method. So that's it. So cut it along there. So that's one way of doing it. Look in the board, and then a little chopping movement. Yeah. Now I'm going to chop this piece off here. Again, in the board with it. And nothing moves, but the main thing, again, I'm going to go over again, is make sure this knife's absolutely solid, locked up in your hand, this finger's forward, and then just roll your knife forward. And that's how to do it. So it's a little rolling movement, roll it forward, that's it. Skiving is simple methods. Actually, I'll show you in a bigger leather on this, but it's there. Now, one of the ways I do it, I'll use it on this piece here. If I was a crew punch, here we go. I did a little video earlier on here with a crew punch. So I need to thin this leather through. I've actually got a machine for doing it, so I just pull it through a machine. But if I was using my round knife, it's again, you'll notice it's down, and then my finger is steady here again. Yeah, so it's absolutely steady. And what you do is you just do a little sliding movement like this all the way across. Now there's no effort in this. Which I'll demonstrate on the other side, absolutely no effort whatsoever. If I just hold this knife really wimpy, if your knife's sharp and you do the movement right, you can see what it's doing. And that's not really because my knife's sharp, it's because I'm using the technique right. Okay, what I see some people doing when I'm teaching is, if you watch my wrist, let me see if I can bring this camera just up a little bit. Okay, if you watch my wrist, in it comes. So if you watch this piece here, what happens is it doesn't really move when I'm cutting. Now, first of all, when I see people do it, because they're cutting, the knife's going like this, they want their arm to do all this sort of movement. Your arm doesn't move, your arm's locked in here. So get it, and I'll show you the trick that I teach people to make it easier for them in a second. So you get it in, and as I say, it's more my hand that's moving. I know my wrist moves, but it doesn't move all over the place. Okay. What I see a lot of people doing when I'm teaching them is they want to do it from here, and I'll explain more in a pen a minute, and you can't do it, it's tight. So ordinarily what I do is, that's the centre of my blade there. I ignore centre, and just about a finger off centre, maybe just over a finger, I'll do a little line for them, yeah? So if I just put that little line on here, maybe not with this pen, I won't. Yeah, there's a little line, and I do another little line down here because that's where they're going to finish. They don't really come off the end here. And what I'm saying is, when you're doing this side movement, it's not from the start, it's off centre, and it's about a finger and a half off centre. So let me show you that. So it's not like that. You start off there, and I don't know if you can see my line here, but that's my line here. And then it's just slide it along, yeah? Just a little trim. Let the knife do the work. As I say, the knife, I'll do the work for you. I'm holding it badly just to show you again. If you don't do it, then what happens is it pushes forward and stuff. So if you try and do all this, your wrist's all moving over the place, it won't cut. Whereas if I just slide the knife, let the knife do it. So it's a little slice, yeah, slice, 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 all the way along, and then that's what we're shaping it down. Yeah? So that's how to skive. The other thing that I do on bridal work, I'll do it up this end here, is I'll do, I don't know what the terminology is on it, a straight edge on it. So again, for just, this is uneven, this bit. So I'll just trim that off, and it's just a case of get that in the board, dig it in, not dig it in, rest it in the board, and then roll your knife forward. Let your knife do the work. Okay, for bridle ends, again, this rolling method, I'll bring it, I'll do it this way for you. You know this method I'm saying here. So I bring my knife in here, and then I roll it up to the end. You see what I'm doing? I'm going to turn my leather round, and again over here, up to the end, and then that gives me a little point. I don't know what the name of that is, what people might call it. The other thing I'm doing, if I ever do that, I just do a little nip, take this little corner off. I just think it looks nice. And again, it's the same movement with this knife. It's just a little roll, so it's there. And again, because I see it so many times, get that finger in there. I know I keep saying it, but it's really important. Get that knife where it's not moving in your hand. It's a dangerous knife. I read, I look at forums and sort of people tell me they've cut their hands on their round knife and things, and it's probably because they were holding it like this and the thing spun round on them. So that's that. The other thing, if you're doing a belt end or something, is shave this little end, just take the tip down, because if you look here, this will be extra bit for you. So it's pretty thick, so to make it slide through the buckles a bit better, just tip it, just knock the edge off there. But again, it's this little movement, it's just a little, it's not a push. People are tempted to push forward, it's not, it's a little turn to the side, and I don't know what shows up yet. Now what I've got is I've got these little hairs here, so I use my round knife to get rid of these little hairs. So again, back down the board, drag my leather back ever so slightly, and then just in there, and again just this little roll forward, and then that gets rid of that. One of the other things I use my round knife for, because I'm far too lazy. Now I'm just going to go off camera for a minute just to get some tools. I'm far too lazy to go and dig this, this out. And I did this in another video. You got all these sorts of different chisels and different sizes and things. And the other thing, as I mentioned on the other video, how to do, I think it's called an English point, is you maybe don't want to have the money to start off buying all these tools and stuff. So simply, let me take this board out of the way, and I'll do it on this board. Put your knife in here, and I'm doing this facing you. Get your leather down there, and again, your knife doesn't move. Yeah, it's this leather that moves. But again, just turn your leather round, and again turn it round. And that was rubbish. Let me just do a better one in that. Yeah. So again, round and round, and then that's your where are we? Chisel point end. Yeah. So again, it's just turn the leather. That's all you have to do here. I can't think of much more you can do in this. But as I say, if your knife's sharp, it's very rare I use it for here. But again, even on thinner leather, this is a bit of panel hide. Again, it's this movement here. Get that finger forward and then slide, slide, slide. And again, if you look at my movement, there's not a lot of movement here. It's all down to this. It's literally moving from there to there. It's not the point, the top of the knife you're using, it's the side of the knife you're using. So as I say, bear in mind, centre about a finger and a half down, and then just slice it across. And look how thin it'll get it, yeah? So this is how to shave using a round knife. The round knife does lots more in this, yeah, but I can't think at the moment. As usual with my videos, I've probably been in my workshop. Today's Sunday. I've been working all week in the workshop, but I still wanted to come in today. That's the joy of leather. And I'm doing a little dog collar for somebody for a bit of fun, but so I thought I'd just throw together a video. I don't put a lot of thought into them, but that's me starting to waffle on, which I don't like doing. And you can see this is acting as a paring knife. Don't cut on this surface. Yeah, again, this is me being lazy. Get a piece of marble or shiny marble, because this will dig into your board and it blunts the knife. So just before somebody points out, yeah, I'm being lazy. But as I say, this is a piece of panel hide, and you can see how thin I managed to shave it using my round knife. But again, finger forward, and it's not centre when you're doing a skive. It's off centre, and then it's a little movement like this. That's all it is. And again, as I say, if you're nice sharp, and you get, if I do this, you can see it's not cutting. So again, I'm just going to go with myself and nice sharp, and I'm holding this badly just to show you. You get the knife going in the right direction, the knife will do the work for you. So if you're struggling, it's either you're nice as blunt can be, or you're not doing this little movements, doing the slicing movement here, yeah? Okay guys, again, wonderful tool, a round knife. Do buy one, have a lot of practice with it, and yeah, you'll love it, you'll use it a lot. Thanks very much for your time.